Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. And in today's video we're discussing on how many bales of silage we've made this year. So I'm going to call this video how we've lost nearly 1,500 bales, because that is true. That is how many bales this spring drought has cost us. So to put it into perspective, that's our stack of first cut bales there, in front of where the slurry tanker is. So that stack should actually come past where that slurry pipe is there, past the slurry tanker, all the way to where this load of bucket is here. That's where it were last year, plus, so roughly there's about 700 short in that hole, in front of that stack rather. Then we normally have about, last year we had 700 roughly stacked where them green ones are. Now you can see we've got some open there. That's going to be a different video to talk about that, but we're basically feeding the milk cows that's why they're open. So we are massively short, and that is because of the weather. There are a few factors to take into account. One is those bales are better than last year's bales. A couple of reasons behind that. Well, 2 or 3 reasons actually. One, it's dry stuff. The weather's been dry this summer. All through June, it's been drier. So they were all made in June, apart from them right at the back, which were made in May, which is when we started. So all made in June, lovely stuff. It's nice stuff. And it's dry, and they're better bales because it's dry stuff. So it's not as wet, and in theory cows won't eat as much if it's drier, which has its advantages and disadvantages, but it is what it is. We can't do any different, because a lot of that only had one day, less than 24 hours wilt, and it still come out dry as anything. I haven't had any analysed, but if we do, I'll do a video on it, and we'll see the dry matter content, because I'm going to be pretty, it's going to be, normally you're aiming for about 30% dry matter, well 20 to 30% for silage. I'm going to put a figure out there and say that's like 40 or 50% dry matter, because it's that dry. So it's drier, that's one reason. Second reason, different fella came and did our rowing up this year. So we had a contractor, well we've always had a contractor come and do our rowing up. He's done the rowing up this year, because last year we felt the rake was having a big dip, making every bale a different shape, so there wasn't any consistency with the bales. Whereas you look at them, all nice and consistent, nice and even shaped. Even the bottom bales, they've been actually stacked there a fortnight now. So it's been 2 weeks since we actually finished first cut. Today's the, what date is it today? Is it the 12th? I think it's the 12th of July. So we are in the middle of a heat wave as well, I might add. And they've been stacked there a fortnight, and they've not, well nearly 2 weeks rather, and they've not lost a shape. The perfect round bales. Couldn't have asked for better bales. And the rowing up man does make a big impact on the shape of your bales, because the bale needs just the ideal row to make the perfect bale, and this year got it sussed. So there's 2 reasons why we'll have lost bales, because there's more in them than there was last year, but still that wouldn't lose. This year the total bale count was 1874, I think, so 1,874 bales. Last year was 3,287, so it's nearly 1,500. It's 1,400 and something it works out at that we're short of, and that is going to have a dramatic effect on our winter. We've got all our fields shut up for second cut now, earlier than we ever have done. We will probably be making more third cut this year to try and counteract that, but I just thought I'd do a whole new different video on this, because this is just, things are going to be very hard this winter, because, well, we're short of silage. It's basically it. We need some rain. It's not raining at the minute. It's not rained for about nearly a week now, just because it's been a heat wave. I've had a really dry spring and a really dry summer. See, the weather is the most, most viable thing in farming, and that is a consequence of it. There's a lot of farmers here on YouTube and on social media in general that are doing really well. They're like, oh, we've got loads of grass and all that and whatever. I'm not going to name them, that's their business. But I think anywhere south from where we are, which is in the Peak District, is suffering badly with the dry weather. Has not had sufficient amount of rain to make grass grow. We've here literally having the bare minimum, the absolute bare minimum of rain to make grass grow, and it's not growing. Milk cows at the minute, it's fighting a lost cause. They've currently got they've got next to no grass. That's why I've said we're feeding bales, which we shouldn't have to be doing in middle of July. But anyway, there's nothing we can do about it. That is 2025 in a nutshell, really. So I'm not sure quite how well you can see this, but this is a stack from a different angle. There's a mower. There's Teddy. That's last year's second cut that we've got left over. Pile of pallets. But I mean, it does look quite good from this angle. So I've just looked through me records, and actually we've not had this small amount of bales since 2018, so 7 years ago, and that was a really bad year for grass growth, for silage bales, making silage. 2022 was another year, so we had 2018, which was a dry summer, 2022, which was a dry summer, but we made more bales first cut because we did actually have a good decent amount of rain in the spring. Whereas this spring has been a little bit like 2018, it's been dry. Although 2018 we had a lot of snow and cold weather early in the spring, which affected grass growth. This year it's been dry, generally just dry. And we seem to be having that dry weather has just continued through the summer until now, up until now, and it's probably set to continue, which is quite worrying. But what I'll do is we've got plenty of second cut left of last year's, and we've got those first cut bales there of last year's, plus we've got some around the back of the house as well. So that we're feeding them at the minute, but we'll do a different video on that, how the milk cows are doing and whatever. But like I say, crop's been terrible. In 2018 we had this amount, we had a similar amount of bales, but it was off of smaller acreage. So it's poorest year we've ever had, because we've done more acres, but we've had less bales. So we've never actually had a year as bad as this. But what I'll do is, to cheer everyone up, try and put a bright side on everything, I'll put a little bit of a montage at the end of this video of clips of silaging. So mowing, raking, baling, carting, all that jazz. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. So if you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe below, and I'll see you all in my next one, which hopefully there might be a bit of rain in the forecast by then, and hopefully we've got a good decent amount of second cut to be doing, because at the minute that's not looking very good right now. Just to put into another perspective, this is where the stack ends. The stack should be right up where the end of my finger is, so there's all this missing. Oh dear. Just done the sums, just sort of put this in the video as well. So our entire first cut has averaged 7 bales to the acre, which we've never averaged that. We've always averaged near 10, if not more than 10 bales to the acre. So that is absolutely terrible. We've never had a year as bad as this before. So yeah, not looking great. But on the plus side, I've heard of people averaging less than that, averaging less bales per acre and what have you. So this year in particular, so I think we're actually quite lucky in the fact that we've actually managed to get that. So every cloud has a silver lining, hopefully. Anyway, see ya.
Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul.
Close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us.